Hey, I'm back. I think I've mentally recovered after 8 dinosaurs that could beat T-Rex in a fight from Brightside. And we're here to torture myself some more with the most terrifying prehistoric creatures by Origins Explained. This one had a skull crawler from King Kong in the thumbnail. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves. Alright, let's begin.
Hi, it's Katrina.
Hi.
Number 10, the sea beast. A newly discovered fossil has revealed a terrifying aquatic predator that scientists have compared to the T-Rex.
Oh no, duh! Everything's compared to the T-Rex, Katrina.
They are calling this beast the underwater Rex.
No, no one is calling it that. You're making me want to die.
A fierce and relentless hunter that lived during the late Cretaceous period. It's not a totally new kind of creature, but could be a new species of the already identified mosasaur. The
What is a
prehistoric
mosasaur?
monster has been named Thalassotitan atrox.
Okay, that's cool.
And it lived between 145 and 66 million years ago. The creature likely had a head that looked reptilian and hunted challenging prey such as sea turtles, plesiosaurs, and other mosasaurs.
Well, if it's being compared to a T-Rex, I would assume those weren't all that challenging for it.
It also had a tail fin kind of like a shark and was at the very top of the food chain. It didn't matter where in the ocean it was. There was nothing else nearly as scary. Paleontologist Nick Longrich from the University of Bath described it best when he said the prehistoric mosasaur was like a Komodo dragon mixed with a great white shark, but with a T-Rex and a killer whale mixed in for good
Of course, they threw in the T-Rex.
measure. It was a total abomination, one that could reach 40 feet in length.
Oh, whoa! Brightside's video told me anything that's not all that big.
It was bigger than any other reptile, with its closest living relatives being snakes and iguanas. You might think crocodiles or alligators, but
No.
nope, iguanas. What
Whoa.
truly separates
Okay, no hate to Origins Explained, it's just I might not be fully recovered from that last Brightside video.
the thalassotitan from other species of mosasaur is that it appears to have been far more aggressive. Its fossilized teeth were found broken and worn, suggesting they had been used to rip through the bones of other large predatory
They could have just been worn from, like, weathering, but that's more likely, I guess.
fish. Nobody knows for sure what animals it was eating, but scientists
Did you not just say sea turtles, plesiosaurs, and mosasaurs were what this thing was eating?
believe it was crunching the bones of its own kind. Number 9, the Troodon. The Troodon
That's a skull crawler. And Troodon's not even a valid genus anymore, I don't think.
lived 76 million years ago during the peak of dinosaur evolution. It was a small dinosaur considering the competition at the time, standing only 11 feet tall
I wouldn't call that small, but yeah, let's go with that.
and weighing around 110 pounds. Like other dinosaurs, it laid eggs and had similar traits to birds and crocodiles. However, scientists are unsure if this slender and bizarre dinosaur was an ancestor of either or both. What made the Troodon a truly
It
exceptional
was an ancestor of birds. That's what dinosaurs were. Birds. Birds are dinosaurs.
and terrifying predator was its brain. Its brain was huge, even
It's not, like, for dinosaur standards.
larger than the brains of modern reptiles in relation to its size. Scientists speculate that with its massive brain, the Troodon was far more intelligent than the average dinosaur, and perhaps even more intelligent than modern birds. That's what's earned the Troodon the title of world's smartest dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, but how is this thing one of the most terrifying prehistoric creatures? Smilodon better be on this list, the saber-toothed tiger. That is far more terrifying than this.
Not only was the Troodon a genius, but it was also
Yeah, if it's chasing a squirrel that small, it was not 11 feet.
a skilled killer. It had larger than average eyes so that it could hunt at night or in the dark. It was also considered an omnivorous predator. It had
Maybe.
grasping hands that it could use to shovel vegetables and nuts into its mouth, while also possessing sharp teeth for ripping apart animals smaller than itself. But here's the best part about the clever Troodon. In 1982, Canadian paleontologist Dale Russell speculated that if the Troodon had survived the extinction of the dinosaurs, it would have evolved to have human-level intelligence.
Mm, mm, probably not.
He
I don't
believed
think
that
so.
it would have continued to grow just like how monkeys grew into humans. Eventually,
What is that?
the Troodon would have become a brainy, perceptive, walking and talking reptile with partially opposable thumbs and 3 fingers
It probably wouldn't have had opposable thumbs because that's like a trait of primates, and this thing wasn't a primate.
on its hand. If that's not terrifying, I don't know what is.
Saber-toothed tiger.
Number 8. Purosaurus. In the world of prehistory,
crocodile.
there were 2 giant crocodilians that make all living crocodilians look like baby lizards. There was the Sarcosuchus and the Purosaurus. No
Dinosaurus?
one is really sure which one was bigger.
Purosaurus was that's bigger than Sarco. Maybe like not as big as Dinosaurus. I'm not sure about that one.
Scientists lean toward the Purosaurus as being the largest crocodilian that ever walked the face of the earth. This terrifying reptile lived 8 million years ago in South America. It had a
Sure. I don't know.
huge head, sharp teeth, and an unprecedented bite force. Its bite was so strong that its teeth would have sunk through muscle and bone like a hydraulic press. A single bite would have shattered the internal structures of whatever it attacked,
Kinda like
rupturing
most
organs
crocodiles.
and causing the animal to die in seconds. Just like modern crocodiles, the Purosaurus was an ambush predator. This thing would have been found lurking around lakes and swamps, waiting for thirsty, unwitting animals to show up for a drink. Then it would have burst out of the water and captured its victim in its powerful jaws. Nobody knows exactly how large the prehistoric crocodilian grew, but based on fossils of its skull, it grew anywhere between 34 and 41 feet long. It also weighed an average of about 6.2 tons.
To me, this is looking a lot more like a Sarco right now.
Unfortunately, the only remains that have ever been found are skulls.
Yeah, that's more like a Sarco. I mean, maybe it looks like that. I can't do because then the recording will cut, but
Paleontologists have never discovered fragments of its body, making its exact size unknown. Number 7. Giganotosaurus.
why do people call it Giga? Giga sounds so much better.
The Giganotosaurus was even bigger than the Tyrannosaurus rex.
No, it wasn't.
Scientists believe the heaviest Giganotosaurus was about 10 tons,
Okay. And?
whereas a female T-Rex could weigh just a little over 9 tons.
Why are we comparing the biggest to a random female?
It's not really a huge difference, but
And they're showing the Arch Giga.
it's enough to make the Giganotosaurus one of the biggest predators in the history of the planet. It wasn't the largest carnivore of all time, as that was the Spinosaurus.
No. No. It was the largest terrestrial carnivore was T-Rex. Like Spinosaurus was taller, but we don't use height. You don't use height in paleontology as much. You use mass.
It was so massive that its preferred prey was the Argentinosaurus, a creature that outweighed the Giganotosaurus by over 40 tons. An adult
That's cool.
Argentinosaurus was a true behemoth of the dinosaur, a kind of sauropod that could grow to an estimated 115 feet in length. But here's where things get truly terrifying.
Oh dear.
Researchers believe there is no way a Giganotosaurus could have knocked over and killed an Argentinosaurus by itself. Instead, they believe the largest carnivore to ever live in South America hunted in groups.
This is the second time I've heard this. I don't think we have any evidence for that, so.
May have had behavior similar to modern wolves, working together to take down prey significantly larger than themselves. And while you might think the Giganotosaurus was a slow-moving monster, that wasn't the case at all. It's believed it could run faster than the smaller T-Rex, potentially reaching speeds
Not smaller.
of up to 20 miles per hour. Number 6. The Microraptor. In Greek,
Why
the
is
name
this more
Microraptor
horrifying?
translates to small thief. This dinosaur is one of the smallest
That's a dragon.
ever discovered, and according to National Geographic, the smallest official species of raptor. It only weighed about 2
Why call it a species of raptor? Just say dromaeosaur.
pounds and stood 1 foot tall, about the size of a crow. It had extremely sharp claws.
See,
which it
these
used
are
for
all
climbing to the tops of
fairly
trees and
accurate.
searching out its prey. The Microraptor could then launch itself from the treetop and glide like a flying squirrel, catching insects in its mouth and landing on lower branches. This thing was unlike any raptor that we know of.
Why? Why the Jurassic Park one? Why?
And unlike any other dinosaur as well. It had feathers, it could basically fly, and its arm bones were almost identical to the bones in modern birds. In the realm of all things terrifying, the raptor was a little terror. It wasn't as big and dangerous as a 30-foot turkey, but if it was alive today, it would
Why are we talking about 30-foot turkeys?
definitely be a horrifying nuisance. Just imagine a bunch of crow-sized dinosaurs with razor-sharp teeth loitering on the power lines outside your house.
Okay, not hurting anyone if it's just sitting on a power line.
Microraptor was kind of like an oversized hummingbird
No, what?
with a hunger for meat.
And there's the dragon again. Why is there a dragon?
Scientists have also confirmed its feathers were iridescent, meaning it had a metallic shine as it glided through the air. The
I don't think that can
Microraptor
be
wasn't the only
confirmed.
prehistoric creature that could glide either. There was another feathered glider called the Archaeopteryx that existed
I thought Archaeopteryx flew. Maybe it doesn't, but
25 million years before the Microraptor. The only difference is that the Archaeopteryx wasn't a raptor. It was a non-avian
yeah.
link between dinosaurs and modern birds.
Modern birds are dinosaurs. Oh my god.
Number 5. The Gigantoraptor. The Gigantoraptor, despite the name, was
I like this one.
not technically a raptor.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a dinosaur that lived about 95 million years ago and weighed about 2 tons. Its closest relative was the much smaller Oviraptor. When compared to a human, a fully grown individual wouldn't have stood any taller than its knees. It was truly huge, and yet all we know about it comes from a single fossil specimen found in Mongolia in 2005. The fossil was found by accident by a Chinese paleontologist while filming a documentary about a totally unrelated dinosaur. The Gigantoraptor is believed to have been a kind of Oviraptorosaur, a group of dinos that walked on 2 legs and looked kind of like turkeys. Oviraptorosaurs are most famous these days for their rude habit of stealing and eating the egg
I hate this tape. This tape came from one Oviraptor specimen, I think, of a mother defending its eggs. They probably did eat eggs, but that's not what they did all the time, or something.
eggs of other dinosaurs. They were egg thieves, although the Gigantoraptor was most likely too big to be partaking in that behavior. Instead, it was really just a giant turkey.
Is every feathered dinosaur a turkey?
Would have looked almost identical to everybody's favorite Thanksgiving bird, except that it stood 26 feet tall. The prehistoric creature was so big, it could have easily consumed a whole family of humans for a midday
What?
snack. Number 4. Pterodactyls.
Biggest surprise about Japan,
Man,
honestly.
shut it!
I'm not finished with my intro. If you're
Pterodactyls were some
Pterodactyl did not exist. It's called a pterodactylus. Get it right.
some of the most terrifying creatures that dominated the skies during the age of the dinosaurs. They weren't technically dinosaurs, but were flying reptiles.
At least they got that right.
Only extremely large, but there were a lot of different kinds of pterodactyls, and each one was unique. The biggest pterodactyl of them all was also the largest flying animal that ever lived. It's called the Quetzalcoatl.
Hatchadopteryx was bigger, but yeah. And I don't know if this really counts, but it's an Asdarchid, so.
northropi, and it lived 67 million years ago. Its wingspan is estimated to have been anywhere between 35 and 52 feet. Either one would have made it positively gigantic, nearly the size of an airplane. With great big wings came a great big body. The Quetzalcoatl was most likely around 32 feet from the tip of its beak to the end of its tail, and weighed anywhere from 150 to 550 pounds. But the most notable feature of this giant reptile was its skull. It had an extremely long beak, kind of like a stork, which it could have used for picking dinosaurs off the ground, like
Maybe
you
babies,
might pick
small
up an ant with a pair
dinosaurs.
of tweezers. And while it could have done that, it probably didn't. Like most flying animals,
So then what? Why did you mention it then, Catherine? Riddle me that.
the Quetzalcoatl likely sustained itself on a diet of fish. Number 3. Homotherium latidens. The Homotherium
Oh,
latidens is
yay!
an extinct genus of saber-toothed cat that lived throughout North America, Africa, and Eurasia up until very recently, only about 28,000 years ago. These big cats were some of the most brutal predators of both the Pliocene and the Pleistocene, growing just about 4 feet at the shoulder and weighing as much as an African lion. The biggest difference between the Homotherium and other saber-toothed cats like the Smilodon was that it had surprisingly short upper canines.
So then why is it more terrifying than the Smilodon? This is a list of the most terrifying prehistoric creatures.
Unlike those 2 big teeth that make saber-toothed cats so famous, the ones the Homotherium had were short, flat, and serrated. Still, they were powerful instruments for hunting. It used its incisors and canines as a puncturing device, killing just about anything it sunk its fangs into
Well, yeah, that's what teeth are usually for.
instantly. Even though it had shorter teeth, its head was larger than other saber-toothed cats, and it had a more muscular jaw. This meant each bite had a higher chance of being fatal. Sadly, just like all the other saber-toothed cats, the Homotherium went extinct as the Ice Age came to an end. But the animal still had a pretty long run before extinction. It likely evolved into its final form about 5 million years ago,
Bro, final form? This is not Dragon Ball Z.
then became such a skilled predator that it migrated to all the corners of the world. Its bones have been found everywhere from Africa to South America. Number 2.
Those are pretty close, but
The Chalicotherium lived 15 million years ago, long after the dinosaurs were already extinct. It's one of the only animals known to science that's unclassifiable because it doesn't have a single direct living descendant. Although it was a gigantic mammal, that's the only thing scientists can classify it as. Some have suggested it could be an extremely distant relative of the horse, but that's only speculation. The truth is that the Chalicotherium did not look or behave like any mammal still alive today.
Doesn't mean
It
you
had a
can't
bunch of
classify
bizarre
it.
features that made it look like a freaky animal created in somebody's dream. Its front legs were longer than its hind legs, and it walked kind of like a gorilla, dragging its knuckles across the ground. It had claws rather than hooves, which it likely used to scrape vegetation from trees. It may have resembled a giant sloth, although it was, at the same time, nothing like a giant sloth. So how dangerous was this creature? Scientists know, based on fossil evidence, that it stood roughly 9 feet tall and weighed 1 ton. It would have been a difficult creature to kill, with adults having practically no natural predators. It was like a bigger and much more muscular gorilla, only more similar to a horse or something with hooves. It didn't eat meat, preferring a diet of leaves and fruits. But still, it definitely was able to defend itself with its scythe-like claws. Number 1.
Nothing really too
Small
wrong
eyes,
there.
big bite. The T-Rex had very small
Oh, of course. Number 1's the T-Rex.
arms. Most people think of the Tyrannosaurus rex as the
I mean, like, you can just outrun it. Also bringing up the small
king of the
arms again.
dinosaurs, with stubby little hands that weren't much use at all.
Because it didn't need to use them.
But new research shows that not only did the most famous dinosaur in history have tiny arms, but it also had unusually small eyes.
Yeah. Whoa. Shocking.
Researchers from the University of Birmingham believe its tiny eyeballs helped it to bite even harder.
Yeah,
It all
probably.
has to do with the eye sockets. The team investigated the oval eye sockets of the T-Rex and found them to be unexpectedly narrow.
That's an Allosaurus. Whatever.
It appears that by evolving narrower eye sockets, thereby reducing the space needed to house the eyeballs, the T-Rex freed up space for jaw muscles to grow. This increased the robustness of the T-Rex skull, increased its jaw muscles, and allowed for a much more powerful bite. The big trade-off was that it gradually developed much smaller eyeballs. This left it borderline visually impaired. The
Bro, Jurassic Park syndrome. It had eyesight about as good as an eagle.
T-Rex would have had utterly atrocious vision, not able to see anything except movement.
What are you talking about?
But really, that was all the great carnivore needed. Once he locked onto a victim, his massive mouth and dagger-like teeth took care of the rest. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back. I had to take a quick break. My brain is not braining, so I thought, let's not torture myself for this next one. Let's watch something actually good. Or from what I've read, the comments say it's good. We're watching Britain's Deadliest Prehistoric Predators. It's a dinosaur documentary by Real Wild, and if you can, you should donate to this fundraiser. But we're not gonna watch this whole hour 30 minutes. We're gonna watch the first 20 minutes of up until the end of the Megalosaurus segment, and then we'll watch the rest another time. I might not be pausing and talking too much here, but yeah. Already looks amazing.
Ever since I was a child, I've been fascinated by the idea of dinosaurs. But I never really thought about them having a connection with Britain. And yet, amazingly, this country was once a paradise for dinosaurs. With over 50 species discovered across the UK, Britain was a real-life Jurassic Park.
Okay. I'm excited. What are they looking at?
Britain
Yo.
used to be home to the world's most terrifying predators. Raptors, tyrannosaurs, and flying reptiles. Pterosaurs.
What is it?
Now I'm on an adventure millions of years in the making, revealing the truth about how this country's dinosaurs lived,
This looks amazingly well made.
fought,
That's amazing, bro.
and died.
Dinosaurus, I think.
In a time when Britain was ruled by dinosaurs.
Oh my god.
I'm starting my journey at London's world-famous Natural History Museum, the place where many of us came face to face with our very first dinosaur.
What is that?
I first came here with my grandparents when I was 6 years old. I can still recall the sense of wonder walking into this great hall and craning my neck to try and understand the size of Dippy the Diplodocus here.
Oh, Diplodocus.
Even now, I can still conjure up that sense of awe. And the Natural History Museum doesn't just display these amazing dinosaurs, they also further our understanding of these prehistoric creatures through cutting-edge research.
This is amazing.
At the centre of Britain's dinosaur research, paleontologists here face the challenge of unravelling jumbled masses of bone to build a picture of a living, breathing dinosaur. 32 years ago, an amateur fossil hunter found something extraordinary in a Surrey clay pit that would become known as the find of the century.
Sauropelta, maybe?
And this is what he discovered.
The claw.
Nothing like this enormous claw had ever been seen in the world before. Scientists from the museum returned to the site and uncovered almost half a complete skeleton, enough to fill 3 vans.
What did that claw belong to?
Had a curious, long skull with ferocious teeth. It was obviously some kind of new flesh-eating dinosaur, the largest ever discovered in Europe.
What was it?
What was it, and why did it look so different from other meat-eaters? The first tangible clue was this tiny fossil found in the dinosaur's rib cage. It sent shockwaves through the scientific community. It was a fish scale, and closer inspection
baryonyx?
revealed that it was partially
It has to be baryonyx.
stomach acid. So this fearsome claw belonged to a 33-foot-long killing machine, the world's first fish-eating dinosaur, Baryonyx.
Yep, knew it.
Baryonyx stalked the swamps and rivers of what is now southern England 125 million years ago. Searching for clues on how Baryonyx hunted, Professor Emily Rayfield uses a CT scanner to X-ray its skull.
I was really interested in looking at the mechanics of the skull to see how it functioned and how it captured its prey. So one of the really good things about the CT scans is that it allows us to look inside the animal's skull.
Ooh, okay. Bro, it's beautiful.
This is a CT scan of the front end of the snout. The teeth that you can see have got really, really deep roots. And in the front of the snout, they go almost up to the roof. They're incredibly deep. They're very long teeth and they're really embedded into the jaws. The
baryonyx. The baryonyx looks amazing right now.
Here means that it will be a very secure tooth, very good for grabbing and holding on to things.
Very slippery, wriggling fish.
Indeed, yeah.
Oh
The It's estimated baryonyx needed to hunt down 60 pounds of fish a day in order to survive, the equivalent of nearly 1,000 fish fingers.
Whoa.
The fish they were hunting were sizable, weren't they? These were big fish, yeah, so they were up to like 2 metres or more. So they were pretty substantial. They're not the kind of tiddly little fish that you might think of living in rivers in the modern-day Surrey or whatever. These were pretty big fish.
I love the way this is done. It's not like going back
Now,
in
this
time.
is the
They're
thumb claw,
here.
a baryonyx. This claw was used like a hook, prey out of the water, so fish, for example, in a similar way that you see things like grizzly bears in modern-day environments actually do that with salmon.
Fish wouldn't stand a chance against that, would it? It's incredible. It really is mind-blowing to imagine such a ferocious predator at large in southern England.
When it was discovered, there was really nothing else like it at all. It really gave us an insight into a completely new group of dinosaurs that we knew nothing about prior to its discovery. You can't forget that these were once living, breathing animals.
This is amazing. It almost tripped. There's Dippy.
Baryonyx was a 2-ton Terminator, always on the lookout for its next meal.
Don't look behind you, man. This is amazing.
125 million years ago, baryonyx would have hunted in a very different environment to modern-day London. Britain was much closer to the equator, and the south was a steamy, tropical wetland of rivers and lakes. Baryonyx wasn't a
that'd be
fossil eater.
horrifying.
Alongside the fish scales found in its stomach were the remains of another dinosaur, thought to be a baby iguanodon.
Ooh. It's just beautiful.
Its long snout was lined with 96 serrated teeth, more than the mighty T-Rex.
Okay.
Like a crocodile, baryonyx could breathe through its nostrils while its head was in the water, just waiting to pounce on its prey. This powerful predator
Oh, he dropped
used its
it. Oh, never
enormous razor-sharp claws to
I accidentally took the recording again. Where are we continuing from here? But this just looks amazing. Like, this documentary is amazing.
This powerful predator used its enormous razor-sharp claws to sweep fish from the water.
Beautiful shot. Actually beautiful.
In the rivers and lakes of dinosaur Britain, baryonyx was the ultimate hunter. Britain was once home to over 50 different species of dinosaur.
Oh, cave art.
These prehistoric animals
Is that
existed on
Chemtra?
Earth 850 times longer than modern human beings. A mind-boggling 165 million years. There were 3 ages of dinosaur: Triassic, Jurassic,
Okay. Yeah.
and Cretaceous. But incredibly, just 200 years ago, no one even knew that dinosaurs once roamed the Earth. So how did we discover their existence?
With the Megalosaurus.
I'm on my way to see where the very first bone in the world to be identified as a dinosaur was discovered. and it was found right here in Britain. Just north of Oxford in a village called Stonesfield. 40 feet underground.
Did my headset just turn off? No. We're good.
It's incredible to think that something found down an old slate mine like this one would change our understanding of life on Earth forever.
This documentary is amazing. I know I keep saying that, but it truly is.
Oh, it's looking really tight down there. Oh no! Did I tell you I was claustrophobic?
Oh, I could not do this, bro.
Oh, I'm not enjoying this. These marks were left by a miner down here some 100 years ago. But back in the 1790s, a miner that was chipping away at a similar face came across a piece of ancient bone.
What is that beeping?
It was clearly part of a large jaw because it was filled with vicious-looking teeth.
Whoa.
But it was unlike anything that had ever been seen before anywhere on Earth.
Oh, yes.
Time to go.
Yeah, I would say so.
Next, I come face to face with the prehistoric owner of the mysterious jawbone. The mighty, meat-eating Megalosaurus.
Yes.
The very first dinosaur to be discovered anywhere in the world.
Oh, it's like multiple episodes. Well, should we stop here? No. No, let's watch the second episode, I guess.
My fascination with dinosaurs began in my infant class of primary school, and my love of wildlife has grown since then. But I think because dinosaurs capture all our imaginations, it's easy to forget that they were once living, real animals. I want to uncover the hidden stories of Britain's dinosaur past, how they lived, how they fought, what they ate, and how they died. The very first bone in the world to be identified as a dinosaur was discovered right here in Britain. It was a huge jawbone containing ferocious teeth. After it was dug out of a mine 200 years ago, it was moved to Oxford, where it still is today.
Okay. I gotta go
I'm
here.
meeting paleontologist and author Dean Lomax, an authority on British dinosaurs, to take a look at this groundbreaking specimen.
Dean,
Hello, nice to meet you.
good to meet you.
Yeah, very good to meet you.
Where's
too.
your white beard? You're so much younger than I thought.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. But I've been working in paleontology now for about 8 years.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you'll be the man to show me in here.
I will. Let's take a look.
All right. So what's your story then?
About 2008, I went out to America. And to fund that trip, I sold my Star Wars collection. It was my first professional dig out there digging up dinosaurs.
Good for you.
The ancient jawbone is now housed in Oxford University's Museum of Natural History.
Bro, this is amazing.
Back when it was discovered, large fossilized bones had already been found in other parts of the world, but no one had any idea what they were. In China, they gave rise to the myth of dragons. In Britain, they were thought to belong to a race of giant humans.
Well, Ellie, if there was one dinosaur specimen to rule them all, and this is it.
That's quite a claim. So how did they go from thinking that these were giant humans to discovering that they were dinosaurs?
There's a guy, Reverend William Buckland. He was a brilliant geologist and paleontologist and very well respected. He started to study these teeth. Now, if you look closely here, you have this tooth coming through. He recognized this as a replacement tooth. He realized that reptiles continue to replace their teeth. And he thought, well, instantly, this must be some huge extinct reptile. This was something completely new. an extinct animal which has not been recorded in the Bible.
Okay.
That's controversial for a man of the cloth, then.
This must have challenged quite a lot of ideas for him at the time, because indeed this was something completely new.
In 1824, Buckland named this find Megalosaurus, which means great lizard. It's the world's first ever recorded account of a dinosaur. However, the term dinosaur had yet to be invented.
I carefully move these
Okay.
around. You see how big this animal is.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, put this huge skull together.
Man.
Yeah.
Megalosaurus.
Good idea of the
That's a
size of
big
this
skull.
beast. That's immense.
Pretty fearsome predator.
And it's British too. Incredible.
And what did Megalosaurus look like?
So we now know that Megalosaurus was this big 30-foot long animal, walks on its hind legs, big muscular hind leg, built for running. This was a big predator. And it would have been living in Oxfordshire around about 167 million years ago.
Bro, this thing is so
An amazing
cool.
predator.
Bro. This is such a cool documentary. It's so unique too. You're not like back in time. You're with the dinosaurs in modern day.
Megalosaurus was the largest theropod or meat-eating dinosaur of its time.
Oh my god. Or pedal faster.
Megalosaurus may have run at over 20 miles an hour, as fast as a charging
Okay, you're
brown
dead
bear,
top, bro.
but 4 times the size. Megalosaurus weighed
Go.
over a ton, the same as a small car. In order to sustain its body size, it
Why are you
fed
getting off?
on large
Why are
prey.
you getting off your bike? Why are you just spending time to hook your bike to run? Oh, I wanted the bike. Oh, well now it wants you dead. Oh my god.
It's gone for the bins.
It is. Like any big predator, Megalosaurus would have been opportunistic, so if it had an opportunity to scavenge, it would have done so it could save time, save energy, and it's a quick and easy meal.
Oh, this is so cool.
Megalosaurus, the first dinosaur to be discovered in the world, and it lived right here in Oxford, 167 million years ago.
Whoa.
The remains of dinosaurs have been discovered.
Alright, and that's the end of the Megalosaurus segment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and you should donate to this channel, because this was just amazing. I don't know, it was just amazing. Alright, well, bye. See you next time.